Dude, I'm having a hard time here. Something's happening with my phone.
What is going on?
I checked to see how much battery I had left, and now I can't get back to talking to you.
Oh, no.
Oh, there it is. Hold on. The screen won't turn. I can't get you to turn.
Yeah, I see you. You're sideways. That's pretty funny.
You're sideways.
Well, not from my perspective.
All right, well, here we go. You're going to be sideways for the rest of the time.
What if I go like that? Does that fix it?
That's better. Wait, does this work? But am I still sideways on yours?
Yeah, you're still sideways.
What about this?
No.
Better?
Does that work? Oh.
You're up. It did it. It's back. Good. Put your phone back to normal. Oh, crap. Okay. Oh, there it is. All right, my phone is spazzing. It's spazzing. I think it might be high. Something's wrong with
Your phone is high? It's been getting that medicinal weed down there, man.
Medicinal weed. I'm telling you, my phone is freaking out, man. It's doing some weird stuff right now. My phone is possessed by the devil. The devil's got my phone. Welcome to the show, everybody. That's right. It's your two favorite facially blessed individuals aiming to misbehave on this wonderful evening. Oh, that's right, folks. It's the Goats of Podcasting. Bringing you podcast gold, like usual, the two bearded preachers. I messed that up a little bit, but I don't care. You can cut it out.
It's still great. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Even in our flaws and flubbers, we're still great. So,
hey, it's in the flaws that you see the real people,
the jewels and gems.
There you go.
We're real people. We are real people. So
that is a fact.
True.
We're not the super high polished preachers, are we, Justin?
No.
I wanted to ask you about Katy Perry.
Okay.
What do you think about Katy Perry?
I don't know. I think sometimes you feel like a plastic bag. Floating to the wind. Is that the song? Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Or is it a paper bag? Drifting in the wind. Never going. Why do you want to know about
I'm not prepared
Katy
for
Perry?
This conversation because I don't know any.
Apparently not, but I am messing up this song horribly. But
she kissed a girl and she liked it, right? That's Katy Perry, isn't it?
She did. Yes, she did.
Okay, but that's a long time ago.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she really liked it. Or if it's just a song. But chances are it's both.
Yeah, I would imagine. You heard about the terrorist attack at the Ariana Grande concert, right?
I did hear about that.
Okay, so after that happens, Katy Perry makes some sort of statement like, everybody just needs to get along and be accepting of each other, and when we're all getting along and being accepting of each other, then we won't be blowing each other up.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what she thinks?
Something along those lines, yeah. Pretty.
What makes her think that?
I think probably that she doesn't really want to blow anybody up.
Okay.
And that's why she thinks that. Like, normally when people say stupid stuff like that, it's because they've never been in a situation where they felt like their only resort was to blow somebody up.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, good point. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the deal. I don't want to blow anybody up either. Okay.
Yeah, but have you ever wanted to? Can you understand somebody's reasoning in blowing somebody up? Or something up?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's going to be a reason why you want to blow somebody up. But I would just say this. Everybody getting along?
Yeah.
Super unrealistic. Like, virtually impossible. Like, it just ain't going to happen. And because... we're all different, man. And we are it's just not going to happen.
She just signed a deal with American Idol for $25 million to do a season. One season.
You know
$25
what?
million.
It sounds like
Good
to
money.
me it's easy for people that make $25 million in one season to say, can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like to me, because the bottom line is ain't no one going to get along because none of us are alike. We're not all alike. We're not all the same people, and it's just life, man. Get over it.
Do you get along with everybody?
No, I don't. I don't get along with everybody, but I don't go around blowing people up.
Well, that's the thing.
I think if anything, she should say, people just got to stop being so stupid and idiots. I mean, it's still unrealistic, but it's still better than, can we just get along? Do you
think that it's a stupidity thing or an idiotic thing for someone to go and blow somebody else up or blow something up?
It's more insanity thing or psychological, I think.
You think so?
Then I think you have to be kind of messed up in the head to go want to blow somebody up. Like if you did it out of like duty, following orders and things like that, I think that's different than. But then again, some of these people are probably following orders too. Probably
from somebody, yeah.
Yeah. My argument's falling apart right now.
You're having trouble with this one, huh? So you're not sure.
But at the same time,
if blowing somebody up is reasonable or not.
Well, for what reason? There we go. You gotta have a pretty good reason to blow somebody up, don't you? Or at least you should.
Well, yeah. I don't think any of these guys who are blowing people up are doing so lightly. I'm sure that they're not just like, you know what? There's nothing good on Netflix right now. I've already watched The Office through twice, Parks and Rec 3 times. I mean, what else am I going to do with my time? I'm not interested in Breaking Bad.
I'm caught up.
I mean,
I'm caught up on all the Marvel Netflix stuff. Right. I can't wait. I got a little while before the Defenders come in, so.
Might as
maybe
well.
Maybe that is. It might be because of boredom.
Maybe.
How about?
Seriously bored. Well, this was a suicide attack, so I don't know if they're looking forward to the Defenders, then they're not going to be doing the suicide attack.
True.
They're going to be like, maybe I just do some sort of remote detonation, so that way I'm not there.
You still get to see the season of Defenders, yeah.
Right. I mean, and we all want to see how Infinity War plays out. I mean, everybody's... We're all just patiently waiting for it to come out.
Of course, especially how the new Guardians of the Galaxy has just taken it up a notch. Oh, so amazing.
All right, calm down. Probably I'll see it with Dave this weekend. I'm trying to...
You need to.
Trying to
get on the ball and go watch it.
I know.
But, yeah, I don't know. I guess I keep going back. Who are you blowing up? And why are you blowing up? I think you got to have a pretty good reason to blow somebody up.
Well, they're infidels.
What was the reason? Infidels.
Yeah, they were infidels.
They are.
He was a righteous martyr. That's the reasoning.
Was it? Wait, it was at an Ariana Grande concert?
Yeah.
Wait, the bomb happened in the Ariana Grande concert?
It was like a public area.
Close
right
to
in front of it or something. Yeah. One of those things where there's a bottleneck.
Okay, they're the infidels then.
Yeah, they're the infidels going to the Ariana Grande concert, and I don't know. I don't know much about Ariana Grande. What, blowing them up? I don't see what they're accomplishing.
No. You don't think Ariana Grande fans might potentially be infidels?
I think that if I was a fundamentalist Muslim, that I would probably not think very highly of Ariana Grande fans.
Good point.
But
but then again, or anybody,
as an evangelical
really,
Christian, I don't really care.
Or let's just be honest with ourselves. If you were a fundamental Muslim, you wouldn't care about anybody.
Well, I mean, I would care about myself, and I'd care about my family, and I'd care about the furtherment of the fundamentalist Islamic.
I meant outside of your circle or your bubble. Outside your bubble.
I don't know. I genuinely think that the majority of people, particularly Islamic guys, I think that they genuinely want people to convert to Islam.
Okay.
But for those who aren't going to convert,
we blow them up.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Some of them.
Is it
fundamental? That's the extreme end of Islam, though.
Okay, that's what I think. That's the extreme end. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could make an argument from... No, I don't think you could make a Christian argument for any sort of crusade or anything. I don't think they're viable.
No.
I mean, there's been crusades happen in the past, but I don't know. I don't think you can make one from Scripture. But you can make one from the Quran.
You can. That's absolutely true. So basically, back to the beginning part, because like Katy Perry, what was it Katy Perry said again? She said she just wants everybody to get along?
Pretty much one of those kind of things where if we could all just learn to tolerate one another, then we wouldn't have to worry about all these people blowing up.
Oh, tolerance. Tolerance. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, no, let's just tolerate each other. Because, like, let's just be honest with ourselves. A lot of people. Some people are hard to tolerate. But it doesn't mean I'm going to go blow them up.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's what it comes down to. No.
What kind of situation would you have to be in to get to the point where you wanted to blow somebody up?
Protecting my family. Like
protecting your family? Okay.
Protecting my congregation, from physical harm. Yeah, I'd blow somebody up for that too. But, and maybe that's how they feel. Like they're protecting their...
Well, I would think that the people who are in that position do feel that way. That they are protecting their family from...
Ariana Grande fans.
Well, maybe not Ariana Grande fans, but protecting...
Katy Perry fans?
Protecting their family from the perverse Western society.
Ariana Grande.
Be all right.
Ariana Grande fans.
Ariana Grande fans, Katy Perry fans.
So extreme Muslims are protecting their families from Ariana Grande fans and Katy Perry fans. It's basically what I'm getting from our conversation.
I'm not sure that I would put it that way. I would say the encroachment of a secular Western culture into their lives,
Okay.
Of course, this is a person... Yeah, Katy Perry fans. Yeah, Katy Perry fans. I mean, the two are like one and the same. Secular, Western culture, Katy Perry fans, that's the same. Infidels. Right.
So...
Infidels, wretches. We got our words too. So...
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. The whole blowing up thing is a little extreme, though, I think. I don't think you could... I think you might want to de-escalate that situation a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think it through from the perspective... Look, there are many people who would say that you and I are religious fundamentalists. Right? Yeah. I want to be fairly represented in these conversations. So I'm just trying to fairly represent the perspective of the Islamic combatant and these sorts of things. Because I'm almost positive that's how they view themselves. They don't view themselves as terrorists. They view themselves as combatants in a war. So...
Yeah, but okay, so I got a lot of buddies that I play games with, like online games and stuff like that over there, and they're all like pretty upset about it, and I just kind of feel like if you're really trying to combat something like that, you would go after like an actual threat, like that's what I always come down to. I'm like, you just kind of like when you bomb things like that, or things like marathons or bars or restaurants, I'm just like, it's just like you're choosing easy targets is really what it comes down to. And when you choose like a Ariana Grande concert, I'm like, I'm sorry, and they ain't gonna fight back. And are they really a threat? That's what it comes. It's not really a threat. It's just maybe a threat to an ideal. But
well, I'm just trying to view it from the perspective of the militant, extreme Islamic feller.
Well, anything extreme, of course, you can make an argument for anything extreme, but
and these are like this isn't the norm.
Oh right? yeah.
That's not it's not the norm. The guys who are doing this, I mean, they are on the extreme. They are the minority, and there's not very many of them. And they're I don't know.
But
I just see.
We always hear the negatives. It's like the extreme ones, the extreme fundamentalists are the ones you always hear about. Okay,
like us.
They're the ones you're always going to hear about. They're the ones that are always going to be on the news, and like it's happening a lot lately. Mm-hmm. But compared to like those guys out there that are actually that are legit good Muslims and are not extreme and going around blowing people up and themselves up, we don't hear about them.
No, you don't hear about the vast, the millions of Muslim people who just want to live their lives and raise their family and pray to Mecca and do all the practice their religion to the best of their ability. I mean, that's you're not going to hear about them because that doesn't sell newspapers.
Yeah. Well, and the same thing, like
ad time.
Yeah, and you don't like when it's like those. What is that one group of like church people that are just like horrendous?
That's the Westboro Baptist Church.
There we go. Like they'll make the news, but like you don't typically.
You're not making the news.
Yeah, I'm not making the news. And
I'm not
the work that we do in the community through a Place for Grace. That's Place for Grace has made the news like once or twice.
Really?
But, awesome. Like once it's made the news, like when it opened and everything, but like you're not doing like reports on like the GED program that we have or anything like that. Like, hey, this is great. Look at the work that this ministry is doing. Nah. It's the Westboro guys that are out there protesting homosexuality and things like that, and those Christians that are doing that. So they make the news.
Yeah, they're just putting up what sells, man. Putting up what sells.
Sure.
So, that was on the news a lot, and I was thinking, man, that's craziness. It's craziness. It's crazy that Katy Perry would be so naive as to think getting along was just some sort of choice that you make. And I think that, to a degree, getting along is a choice that you make, but having everybody make that same choice in the same way, that ain't going to play.
Yeah.
That's just not
unrealistic.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but
now, here's
you
the
can
deal.
afford to think that way when you're banking like a
when you're making $25 million. Yeah. That's right. You can be like, well, I don't understand. Why everybody's so upset. I just got paid $25 million. You're like,
everyone should be happy.
Right there. Right. I don't like you even more because of that.
Like when all that fat podcast money rolls in. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh man, when that happens, we're gonna be going to be rolling in the fat podcast money, and then
that's right.
We're gonna be so distant from the audience at that time because we'll be making so much money.
I know. No one's.
And I'll be like saying things like, "I'm gonna be." We won't be grounded. Our heads will be in there, and I'll be all like, "Hey, I don't understand. Why can't we all just tolerate each other and get along?" And I'll say crazy crap like that. Yeah.
Well,
and then you'll say crazy crap like, "Yeah, man, like it's peace, love, and happiness, yo. Yeah, man, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for legalizing weed and stuff. Woo, yeah, what."
I really don't have a big problem with weed, but that's just me.
Care.
I don't really care. It's illegal, so
either.
I don't smoke it, and it's bad for you. So let's try and stay relatively healthy here, friend. Let's try not to get too out of control.
Yeah, I haven't been watching a lot of news this last 2 weeks, so
you've been scrambling.
Loop. I have been scrambling. I missed an entire week of blogging. I gotta
still ahead
catch
of last year, though.
Way ahead of last year, but I gotta break last month's record, and I gotta blog like about 12 articles tomorrow. So get ready for some crap. Get ready for some crap backdated. It's about to happen. Scamming with that backdating stuff. Why don't you write all your stuff and just have it post later? I do that. You do that? Yeah. I scheduled the post. Right. Yeah. Brilliant. It is brilliant. I think so. I scheduled a Mother's Day. It's getting better. Yeah, I'll get like 30, 40 reads a post. So hey, it's pretty good. All right. I'll deal with that. I post everything to Facebook. That helps draw traffic to our Facebook pages. You know, I think it helps draw traffic to the. Like I can tell when I haven't blogged because Two Bearded Preachers Facebook page and the Northeast Facebook page, all the stats go down. Because
you're not getting as much interaction.
Not getting as much interaction. So yeah.
All right.
Oh, it seems like we're getting some more interaction. We're getting some more interaction now that you're doing our Facebook blog posts differently.
Yeah. That's I changed the settings or whatever. Libsyn changed how they did things, and I finally figured out how to get it all set up. And now it does that. It does that all automatically. So when you set up the podcast to post, there's a field for filling out your Facebook comment, and there's a field for filling out your Twitter comment, and a field for filling out your show notes. So you fill out all those things, and then you press publish, and it puts it on all those different places. It's pretty cool.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. It's not bad. I think that they're getting better and better and better. So I'm liking Libsyn so much more than that other one that we used.
What was the other one we used?
The other one we used was Podomatic, and it was fine, but it was I think that there were some. I think it was padding stats.
Okay.
I think it was padding stats. Okay. And I think that there were some other weird things going on with that. So I wasn't super crazy. Wasn't super crazy about it. I like Libsyn better, I think.
Not to mention they stole our original name of our podcast.
They didn't steal it, and I think that works out. Because it was too long anyway with all that stuff. It was unnecessary. But
the Two Bearded Preachers is a lot better.
It is. I can admit that. Yeah, because that was Two Bearded Preachers was what you came up with, and it was much better. We should have just went with that to start with.
I don't know why we did it, but yeah, no, it's good. Yeah. I like it.
I think it's great. Yeah. I think that
it's very marketable.
Podcast gold.
It is.
Well,
just the name
on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it is. We gotta make t-shirts soon.
Yeah. At least one for you and one for me. So
I'm gonna make a bunch and make my church wear them.
That's a good idea. I need to make one before we go to whatever conference we go to.
Oh yeah, we're wearing that with the website underneath it. Yeah,
that's right. Go around and get that traffic
with our business cards on it. Yeah.
When I was walking around G3, I saw a bunch of guys wearing a t-shirt for a podcast, and I went and listened to it, and I still subscribe to it, and I don't listen to every episode, but I listen to several of them, most of them, and it's pretty good. I mean, the t-shirt worked on me, so
hey man, that's it.
That's something.
What color t-shirt do you want?
Me? I'm a natural tones kind of guy. So I like greens and browns and that sort of stuff. It goes best with my coloration. I'm a true autumn. I gotta have autumn colors.
I like blues and like grays. I'm a gray. I like gray colors.
Okay, well, gray might be the happy medium for us then.
Yeah, it might be.
That should work for the two of us. So
all right, I'll look into t-shirts. And then those of you that want t-shirts, we'll sell them to you.
Yeah.
For a cheap price. I actually could get them cheap made here, but I might try to do it online. That way we can order this shirt and just send it to people. That would work.
That would be great. Well, I'm sure that they will be, that all the people out there in the Bearded Nation will be beating down your door to get their
out
own
the door. I'm like, probably in a year we'll sell 2 or 3 is my guess. In about a year, we could sell 2 or 3,
and we'd be selling them to ourselves. We would be buying them.
Well, yeah, and making people wear them and everything. That's what we would be doing.
Yeah, like buying them for our wives and saying, "Here,
you have to freaking wear this shirt everywhere you go." Put your Bearded Preacher shirt on. What are you doing? What are you doing, Faye? That's what I would do.
Going to Disney World, you better put that bearded t-shirt on.
Wear your bearded t-shirt. Wear your bearded t-shirt. I've been making my staff at church wear it. You can smart. Do that too. You can do that too. Make your staff
Leon
wear it. Make your elders
definitely wear one.
Yeah.
He listens to the show. Clint probably would. I got Clint in a t-shirt that had a black cat dressed as Batman on it, and he wears that. I've seen him wear it a couple times. So he might wear a Two Bearded Preachers t-shirt. Never know.
Welcome to Intermission. Yeah, intermission.
I've got a question for you.
Go for it. I love it.
The medicinal weed has been approved down there in Florida.
Apparently, yeah.
Has anything happened with that yet? Is there a weed depository or whatever in St. Cloud?
A weed suppository?
No, not well. I mean, is that a part of the medicinal process? I don't know.
I really don't know how they take the weed, Martin. I mean, I guess they could take it. I guess they could take it rectally if they really wanted to, but typically people smoke it.
Okay,
not with their butt.
Even for, I don't understand why people think that smoking anything is good for you.
That's a good question because it's smoke in your lungs,
right? So it's already carcinogenic because ash, whatever kind of ash, is carcinogenic.
You watch your mouth.
So I don't understand how people are saying that is healthy or whatever, but. You could maybe.
I think for somebody
suppositories or perhaps edibles.
You know what, Martin? I think we're onto something.
Let's
make suppository weed. You know, I think we're onto something.
Two Bearded Preachers branded suppository weed. That is the future.
Oh my god!
Right up there.
I think you're right. We could put our logo on it. Suppository weed.
Well, you've heard about the different... I'm sure you've heard about alcohol enemas. You've heard about that, I have heard
about that, yeah.
Okay, that's a thing. So
wasn't there a singer that used to drink alcohol in their butt?
I'm sure that there are.
Rock star. Who was it?
I don't know who it is.
Pat Benatar? Pat Benatar, she used to drink... take shots of whiskeys in her butt or something like that because it like got her drunker faster, right?
I don't know about the individual. Like, I don't know, but yeah, I've heard that that's a thing and that it will, it'll give you the effect, right? Some people drink for effect.
Mm-hmm. Martin,
yeah.
Have you ever done that?
No.
Like suck a beer in your butt?
No.
I mean, you were in the military. If anybody had tried it, it'd be you.
Right. If by anybody you mean either of us, it probably is. It
would be closer to you than it would be.
Yeah, but probably. I can see where you're going with that. Like, it probably is more likely because I've been around some weird stuff going down.
You have been around some weird stuff. Yeah.
I've been around some weird stuff. That's
weirder stuff than me.
I don't deny it.
I mean, I've been around weird stuff too, but not weird like what you described to me. Like, there's times you describe certain things to me, I walk away going, forget it. Don't ever think about what he said again. That's weird.
Don't ever talk about that.
I'll write it in my diary. I'll like, dear diary, Martin said something really weird, and I don't know what to do about this.
That haunts me to my very core. Yeah.
I sit and I pray, and I say, Lord, take the words that Martin spoke into my ears tonight and remove them from my brain and my heart and my mind. I have to say that sometimes. So
yeah, and it seems like
you've never done that
prayer pretty regularly. No, I've never tried that. But I'm
okay. Good.
You know, I don't even like taking too much aspirin, so you probably shouldn't use me as a judge of that sort of stuff. I mean, I don't take prescription medication generally.
You don't?
I haven't had any.
When it's prescribed, you're supposed to. Like, that's why they...
Yeah, I know, because it's built into the name, right? Prescribed. So
exactly.
So you are supposed to... I don't know. I don't take a lot of medicine. I don't fool around with a lot of chemicals or that sort of thing.
Okay.
I only smoke like 7 or 8 times a day.
Okay. All right. Good. Good. Yeah, that's good to hear.
Nothing too serious.
You're not addicted or anything like that. Yeah.
No. I do it for my love of it, not because I'm addicted. Just because I enjoy
for
it
effect.
Yeah. I like the way it makes me feel, so that's why I do it. So.
Okay. So you would be all for a weed suppository.
I just think that it's probably going to be safer than smoking all that weed. I think it's going to be better for you medicinally in the long run. I don't
know how we're going to market this, but I think we're going to have a problem with that. Marketing plan of the suppository weed, I don't know how well it's going to go. Maybe for older people it'll work, but for those younger people, I don't know if they're really going to be all up for that.
Nah, man, this new millennial generation, man, they'll do anything. Those guys are crazy. They don't care. We'll do whatever.
Oh my god. I was sitting here, like, before we started talking tonight, I was like, man, I'm like so out of it right now. I don't know what we're going to talk about tonight. And next thing you know, we're on weed suppositories, man. This is like gold right here.
Podcast gold.
This is golden.
It doesn't make any sense. All right. So you might enjoy this, Justin.
Okay.
Last Sunday, I preached a sermon on predestination. On the first, like, Ephesians. I told you I'm going through Ephesians.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, verses 1 through 6. Very clearly teaches predestination. I mean, there's no, I don't know how people get around that. It says very specifically that God has predestined people into his family, all that sort of stuff. So I preached this sermon, and I sort of start off with the question, how many of you believe in God's omniscience? And they all raise their hand. And I say, well, how many of you think God knows everything exhaustively? All of it. Everything. Everything, past, present, future, all of it. They're all like raising their hands. Yeah, we believe that stuff. I said, okay, that's good. Based on that.
Hooked them in fast, didn't you? You're like, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was like, I got y'all now, suckers. Y'all gonna believe in predestination now. So then I say, how many of you believe in predestination? And it was like, nobody at all gave me any feedback whatsoever. And it was funny to me because people will be, particularly folks like us who sort of come through Stone Camel movement and all that sort of stuff, they'll be really big on the idea of God's omniscience. But when it comes to God's predestination, which is really just an extrapolation upon his omniscience, there's bucking towards that. But here is the amazing part. After I get through this sermon sort of explaining what predestination is and how it's a wonderful thing and how it's a good thing for us how Christians can rest in the idea that God, from the beginning, has ordained the end of what's going on, how we can have confidence in the faith because of what God has already done, what God has already destined to take place, all that sort of stuff. I said, that's a blessing for us. At the end of this sermon, how many people do you think came up to me and chewed me out?
I want to say 7, but I'm guessing no one did.
No one did, right? And I got to tell you, man, I was a little disappointed. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little disappointed. I kind of wanted somebody to come up and push me on it a little bit, give me a little pushback, because I don't mind a little pushback. I push you a little bit, you push me a little bit. That's cool. I'm cool with that. I like the interaction. What I did have, I had several different people come up to me, some of them in tears, saying, thank you for preaching that sermon, because that is such a wonderful thing to hear. And it's such a wonderful thing to hear of God's control, of God's omniscience, of God's knowledge of all that's taking place, that he knows the end from the beginning. That's so helpful to me. And I just sat back and I was like, man, I'm really glad that you got a lot out of this.
But why didn't you yell at me?
I kind of wanted to get yelled at.
I don't want you to be like calling me narrow-minded and things like that. That's what I really want you to do. Yeah.
Let's get into it a little bit. Have you ever done a sermon where you're like, man, I think I'm going to get some pushback on this one, boy. Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
And then nothing happens?
No usually it's the hard sermons I preach that people are like, man, thank you so much for that. And I'm like, really? That was kind of mean. Like, when I call people in our congregation dirty, rotten sinners, like, here's the deal. Like, I'll have, there might be
which you should do on a regular basis.
And I
let the wretches know.
I do let the wretches know. I do call them dirty, rotten sinners.
Very nice. I love it.
Yeah. And so I do that regularly. And typically, there might be like maybe one or two that I'd be like, hey, come on. You got to call us sinners again. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah. Or they'll say something like, this is why my friend doesn't want to go to church. That kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, because they don't like the truth. Okay, whatever.
Your friend doesn't want to go to church because they realize what you're saying is accurate. And it hurts their feelings for you to point out their wretchedness.
Yeah. And so, like, every once in a while, I get that. But most of the time, they're just like the hard sermons that you preach, they're just like, oh, yeah. Do you think that people, like, because, like, how you just described predestination to me.
Yeah.
And how you just described it right now has more to do with, like, what you had said, the omniscience of God. And when you start bringing all that into play and you start bringing all that kind of stuff in there, it kind of, most people are just sitting there going, oh, predestination is all about me, like there's nothing, it's about me not having a choice whatsoever.
Yeah, I think people think that, but I think that particularly in this passage, I think that it's more about God's exhaustive knowledge and what God is doing rather than what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, it's about God's plan. And that's what that says right there. According to the plan of him who works out everything and in accordance with the purpose of his will.
Right.
Yeah. And I preached that. Actually, I was preaching that type of stuff where, that the plan of God was predestined. Like it was in the very beginning. Jesus was that plan, and so I'd preach that at Christmas. That was a Christmas series for me, and I actually got a lot of really good responses from that. But it was, because I think a lot of times, it's, I don't know, people think predestination is a dirty word, and the way some people kind of use it at times can be. It's deeper than. Because the reason why it comes across as a dirty word is because they're thinking of it in a shallow way. They're thinking of it in a selfish, shallow way. Yeah,
I like the way you put that. They're not thinking things through from. They're thinking things through from a very man-centered perspective, which is fine. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking things through in a man-centered perspective. That's the only thing that's the only way we can do it holistically or with any sort of accuracy. But in the passages that sort of reveal what God's doing, then you can sort of see a glimpse, not the whole picture, but a glimpse of what God is accomplishing and what he is doing. So there's more than one thing going on. Sure. Mm-hmm. You're a filthy, wretched sinner, dirty, wretched sinner, and you need to repent. But on another level, something else is going on where God is being glorified in either your election or reprobation. So, I mean, that's something that's happening on a divine, a temporal level, whereas the things that we're experiencing are happening on a temporal, finite level. So, very different perspective, very different way of looking at it. And it's when people refuse to recognize the distinctions and the different perspectives that they get all bent out of shape over a doctrine like the doctrine of predestination, which I think is a beautiful doctrine and very helpful and very encouraging for the believer. Mm-hmm. Some people disagree. That's
emphasizes fine. God, this, like, one of the ways I kind of talk about, like, the plan of God was that, like, this wasn't like plan A failed and it was the garden. Right. Plan A failed. We got to come up with another idea. Come on, Jesus, Holy Spirit, let's get the brain trust together and let's come up with another idea because the garden totally failed. You know, that's not what that is.
No,
you know,
and so like,
and that's how, you know, I kind of encourage our congregation to understand, like, our God is a God of order, is a God of planning, and this was it from the very, Jesus was it from the very beginning. You know, that's why it works so good with a Christmas series when you're talking about the birth of Jesus. Jesus was always the plan. And honestly, it leads, like, you could have that. I like that theme in a sense that you could carry on throughout the entire year. I mean, you preach about it at Christmas, you preach about it at Easter. It's a great, kind of plan, but I didn't, do that at Easter, but it could do that way. But
I think one of the challenging parts is that most of the time when we think about a plan, we have, I don't know if you do this, but when I have a plan, I also have a sub plan. Yes. So like, this is what I plan to do. And if things don't work out, here's my sub plan. Here's my reactionary plan for what I'm going to do in case things don't play out the way that I do. But when God has a plan, his plans always come to fruition. There is not a sub plan. There is just that which he is doing. So because he is perfect in all that he does. Right. So he doesn't have, nor does he require a plan B like we do. I've got a plan B. I've got plan B, C, D, E, and F for different things in the way they play out. Because I don't know, probably
I had a youth minister
not trusting enough or something like that. So
I had a youth minister at one time teach the youth group, his youth at the time. This is like 6 years ago, and he's like, the way I see Jesus is he was like plan B. And like he taught that, and I heard him, he told me that, and I go, no, that's actually wrong. That's horrible theology. That's not even that's not biblical. Like, that's like, and he's just like, wait a minute, no, it's like plan B. It's like not like plan B at all. There is no plan B. No. There's only plan A. There's plan A. There's plan J. J for Jesus. That's what it is.
Right. That's all it is. One of the
corrected him on that.
Yeah, the idea that God would need a plan B in order for you to even conceive of that, you have to make God capable of failure, of incompletion, of not achieving his purposes, all that sort of stuff. And you run into some deep theological issues once you do that. You ultimately end up in some sort of open theism or process theism or something like that. You don't end up with classical theism.
Theology purgatory, that's where you end up, right?
Well, yeah, you end up
purgatory
in
of theology.
Because you're trying to reconcile your preconceived notion of God having the capacity for failure. You're trying to reconcile that with a text that doesn't allow for it. So you get into trouble.
Yep.
So much trouble these days, Justin. Yeah. And they just don't think it through. They just don't think it. Did you straighten the kid out? Did you straighten him out? Yeah. Is he all good now?
Yeah. Yep. Youngsters.
The Junk Tracker 3000.
Junk Tracker 3000. I would go the Mevo route, but if you did, one of the things that I'm going to eventually get into is creating an entirely separate ministry on it, where that somebody's like in the back on an iPad, directing the whole thing. Because basically the way it is right now is it's me. I set it on my phone, I walk up and I forget it, and so, which works, but
set it and forget it.